The suite is available, but it might be a bit too much for you. Could you please leave?
I was appalled by Thompson's customer service. But considering how I was dressed, I figured I should leave and return later. Just then, Andrew suddenly showed up, and he said to Thompson,
"You're fired, effective today."
On the grounds.
Thompson looked confused, not understanding what was going on. Of course, I had no idea what he was talking about. Then Andrew suddenly started laughing. "I'm Tyler, and I'm 59 years old. I run on a real estate company. I come from a rural area, where my family ran a large farm. Growing up watching my parents work tirelessly, I resolved never to become a farmer. For college, I deliberately chose a school far enough that I couldn't commute from home. After graduating, I didn't return home but immediately started working. I worked in real estate, and at 35, I became independent and started my own company. Now, my company has grown with more employees into a larger business. I used to say work was my hobby without hesitation, but one day, I decided to take up a hobby. That's when I thought of gardening. I had despised farm work so much, yet now I found myself wanting to try it. I borrowed a corner of a friend's garden and started growing vegetables. At first, they didn't grow well, but with my friend's advice, they gradually started to thrive to the point where they were edible. Looking at the growing vegetables, I couldn't wait to harvest them and found it incredibly enjoyable. Now, whenever I have free time, I'm in the garden happily gardening. Seeing me like this, my son Andrew was happy that his previously hobbyless father had found a healthy hobby. Andrew has started his own business. It seems his company is doing well and growing steadily. Apparently, he has the makings of a good entrepreneur, and I'm secretly relieved. One day, as usual, I was gardening in the field. Then I received a call from Andrew on my cell phone.
"Dad, are you in the field right now? It's your birthday next week, right, Dad? You're turning 60, so it's a big one."
"I want to celebrate. Can you come now? Mom will be joining us later too," Andrew said. I was pleased with this sudden invitation, but became troubled when I heard the specified location. It was a fancy hotel, covered in dirt from gardening. I was hardly in a state to go to a fancy hotel.
"It's okay, just come as you are. I don't have much time either. I'll be waiting," Andrew said.
With that, the call ended. I changed out of my sweaty t-shirt. Thick in the trunk of my car, I always keep a pair of brand-name leather shoes for unexpected dinners. Just with these, I should be fine going to the hotel. Arriving at the lobby, I looked around to see if my wife and Andrew had arrived yet. It seems they hadn't arrived.
Can I help you with anything, sir?
Running towards the voice, I saw a hotel staff member standing there. His name tag read Manager Thompson. Then Thompson looked me over from head to toe and with a half smile asked,
"Sir, our hotel is fully booked today. Do you have a reservation?"
Andrew should have made a reservation, but it was a sudden plan. I'm not sure if he did. I was about to explain the situation when Thompson, cutting me off, started speaking.
"Excuse me, but our hotel's rates are a bit higher than average."
"From what I see, this seems to be a first visit, so I thought I should inform you." Thompson was clearly judging me by my appearance, assuming I had wandered in unknowingly into a luxury hotel. Irritated by his attitude, I said to Thompson. Thompson, barely suppressing a laugh, responded to my request.
"Sir, you seem to have something like mud on your face. Are you all right?"
I then realized why Thompson had been half smiling at me. It was because of the mud on my face. I felt embarrassed, having forgotten to check my face in the mirror before leaving the field. Hearing the word field, Thompson couldn't contain himself and laughed mockingly.
"The suite is available, but I think it might be out of your league. So could you please leave?"
Receiving a paper pull by Thompson's customer service. But realizing my appearance was indeed inappropriate, I decided to leave and come back later. Suddenly, Andrew was standing right in front of me. Then he said to Thompson,
"You're fired, effective today."
"What?"
Thompson looked bewildered, not understanding what was happening. Of course, I was also clueless about what was going on. Then Andrew suddenly burst out laughing.
Sorry.
Just kidding, lol. I've properly made a reservation, okay? And it's for the suite room you were just talking about, lol. Dad, sorry for being late. Mom seems like she'll take a bit more time." Hearing Andrew's words, Thompson realized that I was the father and instantly went pale. It seems that him saying the suite was available was just a lie to turn me away. Thompson hurried to the counter to check the reservation. When he came back, his complexion was even worse.
"Mr. Andrew, thank you for always patronizing our hotel."
"I'm terribly sorry. Upon checking, indeed you have a reservation for the suite room tonight." Thompson seemed quite flustered. and then he changed his attitude towards me.
I'm terribly sorry for the disrespectful behavior earlier.
Upon a closer look, I see you're wearing some fine high-brand shoes. You indeed are fitting for our hotel's suite room. Andrew grinned and said as Thompson suddenly started praising.
That's quite a big company, isn't it? My dad runs a real estate company. It's quite well known, you know, LL.
Hearing the name of my company, Thompson looked surprised.
That's quite a big company, isn't it?
Andrew and I were astounded by Thompson's sudden shift in attitude, praising us as if his earlier disdain never happened. Andrew, who'd been observing Thompson's behavior, began to speak.
Thompson, actually, I saw the whole way you treated my father. Your service was terrible, unbecoming of a manager.
Not expecting that Andrew had seen everything, Thompson started to make excuses in a panic.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea. You were Mr. Andrew's father, and I behaved rudely. I sincerely apologize.
It was my first time seeing you, and I was just explaining our hotel system. I personally thought that offering a suite room to a first-time guest might be overwhelming, which is why I refused the accommodation. I was almost impressed by how quickly such an excuse came to him. Then Andrew said to me,
Dad, this isn't your first time at this hotel, right, LSU?
"You used to frequently use this place for company meetings. Not recognizing a regular like you, and claiming it's your first time, how can you manage as a manager, lolly? Can't really call it a luxury hotel if someone like this is the manager, huh?" Upon hearing Andrew's words, Thompson, who had been submissive until now, started to lose his temper.
Shut up and listen. You've been saying whatever you want.
We don't need guests who show up covered in mud and wearing t-shirts at our hotel. This is a luxury hotel. We have the right to choose our guests. Andrew and I were shocked by Thompson's sudden display of his true nature. Remembering Andrew's earlier joke, Thompson looked as if he wanted to say not again.
So now it's your dad's turn to joke. Oh, LAO.
It was time to tell Thompson the truth, as he laughed thinking it was a joke. Thompson looked completely confused.
What kind of joke is this? Why do I have to be fired by someone like you who has no power over me?
So I do have the authority to fire you. Thompson was completely frozen, caught off guard by this unexpected turn of events. The acquisition of this hotel was a top-secret matter, kept hidden from the employees. Of course, Thompson had no way of knowing. This acquisition wasn't just of the hotel building, but a so-called MA where the entire hotel company was acquired. As part of this, the building was taken over by a real estate company, while the company's management and hotel operations were to be handled by Andrew's company. With this acquisition, our company and Andrew's company decided to merge and become co-managers. Realizing his firing was not a joke, Thompson slumped in the face of this stark reality. Just moments ago, he had been defiant, but now, facing the loss of his job, he quickly switched to a pleading strategy.
Please don't fire me.
Acquiring the company means you'll keep employing the staff as before, right? That's the case, isn't it? Then it's obvious that someone with my long experience as a manager is beneficial. Please reconsider. Thompson, ignoring his previous actions, was still trying to cling to his position at the hotel.
Your reputation as a manager was already not the best.
So we sent undercover inspectors to evaluate your customer service. At the same time, we conducted interviews and investigations based on feedback from other employees.
What, don't you think it's underhanded to secretly investigate someone behind their back?
Thompson, not realizing the gravity of his situation, started to get angry in response.
Don't you think it's not the time? Don't you think it's not the time to be getting angry? LOL.
Your performance as a manager was even worse than we anticipated. You've been selectively refusing guests based on your own whims, haven't you?
That's because if we don't have the right guests, our hotel's prestige will fall. A luxury hotel deserves luxury guests.
Thompson defiantly began to justify his actions. I was appalled that someone with such a mindset had been acting as the manager. I had been silently listening, but I couldn't hold back any longer and interjected. You can't run a business by picking and choosing your guests like that. Whether a hotel is luxurious or not isn't determined by its guests, but by the quality of its staff. In other words, you're the one lowering the quality of this hotel.
Cornered by the hard truth, Thompson finally had nothing to say in return.
It was clear that he was unfit to be the manager. Moreover, our investigation revealed something else about Thompson. There had been talks of him being scouted and recruited by a rival hotel. Thompson was offered a better deal by a rival hotel and apparently intended to move there. However, the condition for his transfer was to leak confidential information from our hotel. Intending to change jobs, Thompson took our confidential information and was planning to hand it over to his new employer. His recent pleas to not be fired seemed to be a camouflage to prevent his job change talks from being discovered. That we already knew, Thompson resorted to such underhanded tactics. During our interviews with all employees, someone revealed that Thompson had directly discussed his plans to switch jobs with them. Shockingly, he had even encouraged this employee to move with him. Upon hearing this, I asked that employee to obtain more detailed information about Thompson's job change plans and to record their conversation. Out of what he perceived as recognition of his abilities, Thompson was openly boasting about his situation.
Well, when you're a manager like me, other hotels can't just ignore you, right? Hello?
They went out of their way to scout me out and offer me a job. It's only natural to bring a little something as a gift, right? Once that confidential information gets to the rival hotel, I'll say goodbye to this place. Or to leave this hotel too and join me in the new job. After hearing the recording, we were determined not to let Thompson get away with this. To catch him red-handed, we installed several hidden cameras in the office and placed a USB with fake confidential information in a locked drawer of the secretary's desk. We expected Thompson to target the USB when the secretary was absent, and we waited for that moment. A few days later, Thompson, unaware of our plans, came as expected when the secretary was away. He used a key we had previously obtained to open the secretary's desk, and he took out the USB. After confirming that he copied the data on his computer through the hidden cameras, we called Thompson in. Thompson responded to my question without flinching.
Where did you get that information?
Didn't I clearly say the other day that I don't want to quit? It's impossible for someone like me to think about changing jobs. Olole?
In the office. I was just working on the computer to prepare some meeting materials.
I showed Thompson the hidden camera footage while he confidently denied everything. His expression clouded over as he saw himself on the screen. I presented further evidence to Thompson. It was the audio recording of him discussing the details of his scouting and recruitment. After listening to the recording, Thompson realized there was no escaping the truth.
Indeed, I copied the USB containing confidential information.
And just now I mailed it to my new employer. This is goodbye to this hotel. The hotel I'm moving to appreciates my skills as a manager. I'm glad to be leaving this place. Thompson seemed relieved, thinking he had successfully sent off the USB as part of his job switch condition. But little did he know, his real downfall was just about to begin. Seemingly relieved by my words, Thompson became more defiant.
Of course, a hotel wouldn't want a scandal with a former employee committing a crime, right, Lo?
The USB you sent to your prospective employer didn't contain any confidential information, just fake data. Sending such nonsense won't get you in trouble, Lau. Unfortunately for you, we saw through your entire plan, Muleo. Seeing me laughing, Thompson was filled with despair.
What, are you kidding? What's going to happen to my job offer now?
Thompson was standing dumbfounded, looking like he was about to cry. But more hell was waiting for him. Suddenly, his wife, Anne, stormed into the hotel with a furious expression. Her visibly angry demeanor caught everyone's attention.
Hey, you're cheating on me, aren't you? I thought something was off lately.
So I had a private investigator check. And sure enough you were. And the affair is with an employee of this hotel, no less. She's here right now, isn't she? This has come out. I've got all the evidence I need.
Thompson was shocked and frozen by this sudden outburst of his wife, who continued to speak furiously.
His complexion visibly worsened with this unexpected turn of events.
What's going on? Why are suddenly here and so angry? That woman was just a fling, you know. I had no intention of leaving you.
So please, don't be so mad, okay?
Clearly intimidated by his wife, Thompson started making excuses in a panic.
Then, suddenly someone approached the couple and spoke up.
I'm the one who's been seeing him. You're terrible, Thompson. You said once you switched jobs, you would divorce your wife and ask me to wait. But now you're saying you have no intention of leaving her. You lied to me and deceived me.
It was Maya, the receptionist at her hotel. It seems Thompson was indeed having an affair with her, keeping it a secret from his wife.
No, it's not like that, Maya. I wasn't trying to deceive you. I've been seriously thinking about you. Please don't say things like that.
I was appalled by Thompson's indecisiveness, trying to please both sides.
Hey, was my guy? What kind of nerve do you have? Messing with someone else's husband. I'd to think it's someone from the same workplace. Unbelievable.
It was your husband who insisted on dating me. He clearly told me he couldn't continue with his wife and was going to divorce. It must have been your strong personality that he couldn't stand.
What did you say? I'm not getting a divorce. You hear me? And I'll make sure to demand a substantial settlement from you. So be prepared.
The hotel lobby had turned into a battleground. Everyone was keenly observing the unfolding drama. Caught between his wife and his mistress, all Thompson could do was dither about helplessly. For Thompson, this situation must have felt like a living hell. But there was no one who could salvage this mess anymore. Afterward, the confidential information Thompson sent to his prospective employer arrived, revealing itself as a complete fabrication. The employer, enraged by deception, called off the job offer. Our company, citing his numerous problematic behaviors, decided to terminate his employment. Thompson ended up not just losing his chance at a new job, but his current job as well. Adding to his miseries, his wife, who initially said she wouldn't divorce him, had enough and apparently left the house. It seems that Thompson is now in discussions for a divorce. After the uproar, Maya, his mistress, found it untenable to stay at the hotel and chose to resign of her own accord. It appears she eventually decided to break up with Thompson. Mia, facing a claim for damages from Thompson's wife, is said to be living in regret over her actions. He's having lost everything, his family, his job, and the rest. Thompson has reportedly become reckless, leading a rough life now. It's a classic case of reaping what one sows. Truly, this is the epitome of you made your bed, now lie in it. There's no room for sympathy in this case. Afterward, Andrew and I successfully completed the acquisition of the hotel. We're renovating the hotel, changing its name, and there's a lot of excitement about the birth of a new hotel. I'm really looking forward to its completion. As co-managers, Andrew and I decided that once the hotel is complete, I will retire and leave everything in Andrew's capable hands. I've seen his skills as a manager and feel confident in trusting him with the business. Lately, thanks to my influence, my wife has also started to take up gardening. She seems to be enjoying it more than I do. After handing over everything to Andrew, we plan to expand our garden and live a relaxed life enjoying our hobby.